Confirmed. Bitcoin dumped as predicted around June 6th. Now, it was also altcoins that dumped as well, arguably more. So we will be talking a lot about this. What happened? What caused this dump? What is going on? Good evening, crypto astronauts, and welcome back to the Crypto Astro Paradise. If you're new here, I do technical analysis and run an astrology birth chart for Bitcoin and see if the astrology patterns match the technical analysis. Please subscribe as I put out these high-value videos every day this week. But none of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Let's take a look at the chart. So here's Bitcoin. We just got this dump here. This is the hourly chart. Let's see how far we dumped. 4.75%. We got some longs liquidated here potentially, but more importantly, let's look at some of the altcoins. If we look at Solana, from the peak here, Solana dumped all the way down 12%. And if we look at, let's see, Render, these are some of the stronger altcoins here. Render's about, wow, 20%. But it rebounded pretty strong. Let's look at Near. Let's go down here, and Near fell to about 20%. So altcoins are seeing big dumps, obviously. Let's look at the liquidations here. The proof is in the pudding here. This is what I think has been going on here. It's pretty obvious. If we look at the liquidations that happened in the last... Well, 1 hour we got quite a lot. We're seeing a lot of red. But if we go back the last 24 hours, 415 million liquidations, meaning people who are doing leverage trading got liquidated. They lost their funds. So yeah, 415 total million liquidations. You can see all these exchanges where it happened. All of these are in the red here. So... a lot of crypto carnage today. And guys, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but, I tend to be someone who doesn't brag or toot my own horn and things like that. But I got to show you this for integrity purposes because I typically shy away from this, but I just got to share that my last video, I did the Bitcoin predictions. This is 3 days ago. I said, caution, after June 6th on the new moon, we could see a dump around June 6th or mid-June. And then there's more warnings for the rest of June. You guys can take a look here. I can go ahead and play this real quick. And then later in August, Jupiter's going to square Saturn. Saturn marks a lot of caution. We cannot have our head in the clouds. We cannot be screaming, Bitcoin's going to 100K, 200K. All these crazy predictions out there. We got to be cautious when we're dealing with planets that are squaring Saturn. Okay, this brings hard lessons in reality. So let me show you a bit of the astrology here. We're getting squares to Saturn. Saturn is the planet of limitation, hard lessons in reality. We got to pay attention to this, in my opinion, as we talk about astrology here. We're getting, we had this new moon. But it was about to square, it was in orb squaring Saturn. And then right after the new moon, and the next day today, we got Venus squaring Saturn. And then tomorrow, it's still going to be squaring Saturn. Then the sun starts squaring Saturn, making it even stronger. And then in the next few days, then Mercury is going to square Saturn. Now, Mercury is the planet of trading and markets, and that's squaring around June 11th, June 12th. It's a lot of caution there, guys, because Saturn brings a lot of, like I was saying, hard lessons in reality, regulations, tough lessons. So definitely got to be cautious here. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm seeing this astrology. I have, like I said in all of my previous videos, I have taken some profits, a little bit of profits, like 10%. Some might consider that a lot of profits. Some might consider that a little bit, but I was all in last month, so I want to make sure I'm de-risking and I'm not, putting in too much risk because crypto is already risky. We don't need to get too crazy with this. Let's take a look at some more of the charts. Let's go back here if I can make this work. All right. So let's take a look at the altcoins. We're going to look at the total 3. Let's look at what happened in the last 24 hours. I mean, look at just the violence of this dump. How deep did this go? 8% dump, pretty significant. Let's start to zoom out. Let's go to the 4-hour. We have not seen a dump like this since around probably April 30th, around there, when we were dumping back then. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, so I mean, that's a healthy correction there. One really interesting thing is we're still on an uptrend. We are still in a bullish position here, guys. And let me do something that I was playing around with earlier today. I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see more clearly. Whoopsies. Let me try this again. Playing around with my software here. And I'm going to zoom in. There we go. It's working. So as you can see here, we take a look at this trend line. And, we are still getting, there's a low. We're getting a higher low here. You could say higher low there. But this could be a solid higher low. Now, it's not to say that maybe there's more downside to go. That's also possible. If we take a look at this here, sometimes this is just the initial. Actually, yeah, this is important to talk about. Sometimes we get an initial dump, liquidations, and then we get a bit of relief and people are like, okay, maybe that's it. And then sometimes the next day or in the next couple days, there's another dump before we start heading back up like this. All right, let me zoom out a little bit so we can see that. Sometimes that happens and we got to be aware of that as well, that possibility. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. That's one of my main things in my strategy. So there's definitely still some caution. This scenario could absolutely happen still. I'm not saying it's guaranteed or anything like that, but definitely something to be aware of because, like I was talking about, this negative astrology, Venus squaring Saturn, the Sun squaring Saturn, Mercury squaring Saturn, and then, wow, at the same time, I didn't even mention this, on June 10th, Mars is going into Taurus. Mars is not happy in Taurus, okay, because it's opposite Scorpio, which Mars is exalted in. And so, or in the, let's see, old astrology, Mars rules Scorpio. So, and then it's squaring Pluto, more importantly, okay? And Taurus is a fixed sign. Aquarius is a fixed sign with Pluto there. So that is not, that can bring conflicts, maybe more tough lessons, emotional intensity. That's not looking good. Especially with Mars, which is, ruled by the god of war, and Pluto, the god of the underworld. These are both very intense planets. So a lot of more caution there. I mean, that's coming up in a couple days as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, typically that can affect even the macro markets, arguably. If we look at, let me click this. If we go look at the S&P 500 or even the Dow Jones. Okay, so the Dow Jones did fall today. And how far was that? Whoopsies. Looks like this was about 5% dump. However, that was not today. That was actually last week. So it's mainly just crypto that was dumping so much today. Crypto doesn't always follow the macro exactly. It looks like crypto was just getting major liquidations we did get a dump here. Nothing too crazy in the Dow Jones today. Looks like not even a 1% dump. It was more just the longs in crypto being liquidated. And this happens every once in a while. I think it's a very healthy thing to flush out the people who are overly leveraged. And, a lot of people bet that the price is going up and then they leverage it. But then they get liquidated. They lose all their money. And that's healthy because people are getting overly greedy. And the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, we can't even look at that. There's, I believe, yesterday, 72. It's in greed. And then look at yesterday, we were in extreme greed. So it's always a healthy thing, in my opinion, to flush out the extreme greed, the overly leveraged longs that are going on, so that we can have a healthy move upwards with Bitcoin and crypto. So that's what I'm seeing, guys. Let me take a look if there's any comments that we can cover today. All right. Probably markets down until August. What do I think? That's a tough one. That's possible. Honestly, that's what the astrology is showing. So I can't say that's not possible. However, it's important to note that we are in a bull market. If we zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out. Ever since, really this entire year has been just extremely bullish. Bull run. We are creating a higher low. We created another higher low. And, as long as we hold this level, 56,000 with Bitcoin, we're still in a very, very, very bullish position. So we still have room to dump, even hitting a double bottom there. That's still even bullish, even if that happens over the summer. That's totally possible. With that being said, markets are flushing out these longs right now. It only dropped Bitcoin, a few percent. It was mainly the altcoins that were getting flushed out. Bitcoin only dropped about 4%. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We're going to keep our eyes on this. But I'm not necessarily going to say that the summer is going to be dumping the whole summer, although it's possible. I'm just saying we could absolutely see major corrections. We could absolutely see world events, honestly. Let's look at altcoins again. This is a very healthy dump. We definitely could see, even like that is possible with the altcoins. But still, it's still looking very bullish. It's tough to say. I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't want to say like that. Yes, we're just going to fall this summer, the entire summer. However, there is a lot of negative astrology in August. So that is also possible when we go through July here. We look at these planets that are approaching, let's see, July, and then we're going to have Mars and Jupiter conjuncting, but the really cautious, scary thing is that Saturn's retrograding in August, and Jupiter and Mars are going to be squaring Saturn on around August 15th. And this is very concerning. Does not look bullish for the markets. So a lot of caution there. We could definitely see a correction in the macro markets, honestly. And that can absolutely drop the crypto markets as well. So it's tough to say if crypto is moving up this summer. If we're just gonna see like another higher low, like what if it's like this and then we just fall again in August or July or August or something like this? That's certainly possible. You know, it's also possible that we, I don't know, do something like that too. It's certainly possible. I can't say that's not possible. But overall, yes, it does look bearish for this summer. So that's why I'm making sure I have cash on hand to dollar cost average. That's my plan. That is my strategy. But I will keep you guys updated. So definitely subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I'm going to be coming out with more updates and you definitely don't want to miss it. Also, this very soon, I'm going to be coming out with a private call for those in the Crypto Astro Mastermind, my private group. And we're going to be going over the top potential 10x, 20x opportunities with altcoins. So you definitely don't want to miss that. You can click the links on my YouTube page to get more info on that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be coming up on here very soon. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.